Ojuani Meyi tests his hands in farming. Ojuani Meyi was an industrious man, but while he had tried his hands at commerce, it was in farming that he found true prosperity. His yam harvest that year was abundant, a sight to behold. But as he stored the yams in the granary, a dispute arose between him and his mother. He had divided the granary among his two wives and his mother, but his mother complained about the portion given to his wives. Unbeknownst to Ojuani Meyi, his wives harbored dark secrets. His mother had often accused him of favoring his wives over her, the very woman who had brought him into the world. This division of the granary reignited old grievances. Overcome with frustration, he pushed his mother. She fell to the ground and began to weep bitterly, crying that her own son had struck her. Devastated, she left the farm in tears, wailing on her way home. When she arrived in the village, the elders were gathered in the town's council house. Concerned, they asked her why she was crying. She told them that her son had beaten her over his wives. Among those present were some of Ojuani Meyi's fiercest enemies, men who secretly practiced witchcraft and had long sought an excuse to condemn him. Until then, they had found no fault to use against him. According to the rules of their secret society, no victim could be punished without a trial and conviction. Though they despised him, they could not act unless he was found guilty of wrongdoing. But now, his own mother had given them a solid case, an accusation that could not be ignored. Little did Ojuani Meyi know that his two wives had allied with his enemies, joining the secret society with the intent of bringing about his downfall. However, they had been unable to find any justification to act against him. Now, with his mother's public complaint, the secret society convened to discuss the matter. This is why it is often said that one must be cautious when airing domestic issues in public, as ill-intentioned listeners may twist such grievances for their own ends. At the next meeting of the secret society, Ojuani Meyi's case was presented. His two wives confirmed his mother's allegations. He was judged and condemned. But because he was not a member of the society, the punishment was severe. He was sentenced to death. That night, however, his IFA revealed his trial and condemnation to him in a dream. Alarmed, he consulted IFA at dawn, asking if this was a sign of impending danger. IFA confirmed his fears and instructed him to offer a male goat to Eshu immediately. Furthermore, he was warned not to go to his farm on the village's day of rest, as an unseen conspiracy awaited him there. Ojuani Meyi followed the divine counsel and performed the sacrifice. Meanwhile, one of his wives deceitfully suggested that they should go to the farm the following day because there was no food in the house. But that was the very day he had planned to offer his sacrifice. When their scheme failed, his enemies devised another trap. They invited him, insisting that since he often went into the forest to gather leaves for his IFA practice, he should be initiated into the cult of Oro. Again, he sought IFA's guidance, and again, IFA instructed him to offer another male goat to Eshu. The sacrifice, IFA promised, would render their sinister plan powerless. Ojuani Meyi heeded the warning. He also informed the village elders that he was ready for initiation into the Oro cult. On the appointed night, the chief priest of the cult led him in a ceremonial procession deep into the sacred forest, under the cover of a village curfew. As soon as they crossed the village boundaries, they blindfolded him and led him further into the woods. They commanded him to raise his hands and touch the sky. Ojuani Meyi wisely replied, "A child's hands cannot stretch far enough to touch the heavens." Then, they ordered him to close his fist and insert it into the mouth of a gourd. Again he responded, "An adult's fist cannot fit into the mouth of a gourd." With this, they declared that any initiate who could not perform these actions could not leave the initiation alive. They pushed him forward, apparently to sacrifice him at the sacred site. But Eshu had been watching. At that very moment, Eshu intervened, placing an invisible obstacle on the ground. Ojuani Meyi stumbled and, in an instant, disappeared, vanishing from sight. Miraculously, he reappeared in his home, wounded but alive. As he lay recovering, the men from the secret society tracked him down to his house. They found his mother and demanded his whereabouts. She told them he was unwell. They pushed her aside and commanded her to hand over her son, reminding her that she had been the one who condemned him by making a complaint in the council house. Stricken with guilt, she fell to her knees, pleading for her son's life. She begged them not to execute him, declaring that she had already forgiven him. Moved by her passionate plea, they offered a compromise. She must arrange for him to sacrifice a goat to the council and prepare a feast for the village elders. Ojuani Meyi complied. After the feast, they still insisted that he undergo the Oro initiation properly, since he had witnessed part of its secrets. This time, the initiation was completed without incident, and they presented him with a parrot feather to wear as a mark of his membership. Eventually, they revealed the truth. His 2 wives had been the ones who conspired against him by joining the secret society. However, it had been his mother's public grievance that had triggered his condemnation. Ironically, it was also she who had pleaded for his life. As punishment, the secret society took one of his wives, and she mysteriously died in her sleep. In time, Ojuani Meyi divorced his 2nd wife as well. Ending commentary, lessons learned. This story of Ojuani Meyi reminds us of the power of wisdom, divine guidance, and the unseen consequences of our actions. Respect for parents. Regardless of circumstances, we must honor and respect our parents. Words spoken in pain can have unintended consequences. Beware of betrayal. Those closest to us may not always have our best interests at heart. Envy and deception can lurk where we least expect it. The power of sacrifice and IFA guidance. Ojuani Meyi's survival was not by chance. His willingness to heed IFA's counsel and offer sacrifices to Eshu saved his life. Be cautious with public complaints. Sharing personal grievances openly can attract the wrong attention and escalate problems beyond control. What do you think? Have you ever seen betrayal come from unexpected places? Share your thoughts in the comments. Would you like to hear more IFA stories? Let us know which Yoruba legends you'd love to explore next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more IFA wisdom and storytelling. May your path be clear, and may wisdom always guide your steps. Ash.